Rebuild listeners. It is your co-host Chauntae Gold with
Alyssa Vargas. Hello.
Hello, everybody. How are we feeling?
How are you feeling?
I know. Oh my gosh. You guys, first I want to say thank you so much. We were just looking at the data for streams, and last episode was the most that we have ever had. I didn't know y'all cared that much. I really didn't expect to get the response that we did. I got so many DMs, a lot of comments on our posts, so many text messages from people, just reaching out for support and just some really kind words. And, even a lot of people who said their aunt or their niece or their brother or whoever has Down syndrome, and how wonderful they are, and how, they have just been such a joy and a light to their lives. And so it was wonderful hearing all of those stories. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's reached out, because it was hard to talk about. Obviously, I truly did not think I was going to cry on the podcast. And when people ask me how I am, like, on a day-to-day basis, I'm doing fine. I'm focusing on house projects and home decorating, and
oh my gosh, your house.
I know, I'm so excited. And taking care of Isaiah. So when I'm not talking about it and like talking about the last, couple months, I'm fine. But when I really sit down and like sit with the feelings, I guess, flood of emotions come, and I ended up crying the entire episode. So.
It was so well. I mean, you shared so deeply and passionately. I don't know. It was a great episode. Like, I re-listened to it too, even though I was the one listening to you talk. It was a very beautiful epised.
Oh my
people
gosh!
Were like, I got messages as well, like, "Oh, tell Chauntae this," or "Oh my gosh, I listened to the podcast," and I forget who it was, but they reached out like, "Oh my gosh, at the beginning she seems so sad, but at the end you can tell she's excited and up for the challenge and joyful, and I'm inspired, and I'm so happy for her." And so
yeah. It's funny because I was supposed to get the clip that we shared on social media. I was actually supposed to find one before Monday when the podcast released, and then I completely forgot. So on Monday morning, I texted Alyssa. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot a clip. Let me go on the computer and find one so you could post it." And I was looking through all of them, and just hearing myself talk in the clips made me cry. And so I sent Alyssa the clip, and I'm like, I'm not having a good day today. And I just start I try to get myself together. And luckily Kevin has been off this entire week, building something for me in the backyard, which I'll tell you guys about later. But I was trying to get ready, and I couldn't put my makeup on without like tears running through my face. And I just needed to cry. And so I walk out of the room, and Kevin's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I just need to cry." And then I just start bawling, and he holds me. And we sat there for like a few minutes, and I cried and cried and cried, like literally like a crybaby.
Oh my God.
I know. And it was just, and that's why I also say that I guess it's still hard. It's still hard. And even though in a lot of days and a lot of, weeks, I show up normal and, going about my days, it's still really hard when I sit with those feelings. And, Kevin is wonderful as always. And after me crying, he's like, "Why are you crying?" And I'm like, "Because I'm just sad about everything."
Yeah. It's a lot, okay?
Yeah.
I'm a woman, I have a lot of emotions.
He's like, "Everything will be okay. Okay." And I'm like, I know. I just needed to cry. And then that was it. And then I just went back to my room and got ready.
Did he give you a pat?
No, he gave me a strong hug, and he continued. It was sweet. It was sweet, but yeah.
But he's building you. Tell him.
He's so in our backyard. We have like this little patio section that's had a little couch and a table and whatever, and then there's the grass area where Isaiah has all of his toys and plays and whatnot. And I hate going out there because it just gets dirty, and our couch is like canvas material, but it's white. So it doesn't stay clean very often. And in the summer, it gets painfully hot. So I hate sitting out there watching Isaiah play just because the shade's limited, and where the shade is, I can't watch Isaiah play. And it's just like, I don't know, the layout, and it's just not comfortable being out there. So I haven't really been able to enjoy my backyard. And all the plants that were out there died because I didn't want to be out there. So I just let them die. And so Kevin has spent the last week, over a week, with his dad building an entire enclosure for that area. And it's very aesthetic. It's like, those popular wood panels with like the long little rows of wood.
What are those called?
I don't know.
There's a name for it.
Yeah, there's a name for it, but that's in the bottom of the wall that he built. And then on the top is just going to be screen. And then there's a door, and we stained it like a dark brown color. So it's really nice. And, I got new pillows for the couch, new plants. So it just looks really nice and aesthetically pleasing. He also got misters, so he's going to put misters in there.
It's called a slat wall panel.
Slat wall panel.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So
they're
they
just
have a
really
visual. It
popular
looks
right
really
now.
pretty.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
It's really
And then
pretty.
when you walk out to the further patio, they built like a gazebo. So right over the Blackstone and the barbecue. So when we're actually cooking out there, we're not getting baked in the sun because it gets so hot here. It has a whole gazebo there, which he's also going to put misters in there. So everything's shaded, everything's nice, clean, aesthetic, beautiful. And my husband has been busting his butt building that for me because I've been sad. So
when you're sad, he builds. When you're
yes.
happy, he builds.
Yes, I know.
When you're pregnant, he builds.
He builds. Yes.
We're actually doing your...
Yeah, we're doing my gender reveal today.
Tonight.
Yes, this afternoon.
In a couple hours.
Yeah, in a couple hours. So Kevin is busting his ass for the last few hours trying to add all the finishing touches to it so we can, celebrate tonight. And yeah, so we have our
You're doing a podcast right now. You're like, I'm going to go do a podcast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what am I going to do? I told him, I said, if you want me to help with anything, let me know. And I mean, what am I going to help with? Like, he knows how to do everything. So
there you go.
But yeah.
Yay.
What's been happening on your end?
No, we did Dahlia's pod class, which is amazing. If you guys live in the area, she does mother child classes. It's like a couple hours, and they make slime, and we did like little arts and crafts, which I don't do any of that, guys. You guys know, at my home. So it was kind of cool to have someone put that on, and they're out in nature, got to see other moms. So that was fun.
Where did you guys go for your nature?
It was in Temecula. It was a park in Temecula. I forget the name of it. It's across from a school, but yeah, it was nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, this week, nothing much. Just the usual.
The usual.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, I figured since we're going into summer, I would overview the cut process. If you guys follow along, I did a cut starting mid-January, and I lost 15 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot of weight. I'm like, dang, I was thick. Like, I looked at some old videos. I'm like, wow. It was, especially through the holidays, I was baking. That's when I picked up baking sourdough. I was baking a lot and a lot of cookies, and I wasn't tracking at the time.
Right.
And when I did my baseline, I was like, oh, I was eating like my plates of rice, like 325 grams of rice. Like, it was a lot of rice. Like, because I got giant bowls. And this is the thing, when you get giant bowls and plates, you're going to fill them. Yeah. And so I was focusing on strength and building muscle, and I was like, yeah, let's just go. And I was eating a lot. So yeah, I figured I would kind of go over what the process looks like. the cut process. And then now it's been a full month of maintenance. Yeah, about a full month of maintenance. And if you're looking to feel better, maybe lose a few pounds for summer, you're curious what the fat loss process would look like, I thought I would take you guys through it. So
yeah, this is the fun stuff.
This is fun. I love doing a cut. The cuts are fun if you look at it that way, at least. I mean, it is what I mean.
Well, the fun part is what you get at the end of it.
Satisfaction.
Right. Satisfaction. Fitting in your clothes better.
Yes.
More confident in your body. Alyssa's wearing all these cute outfits. Today I just pulled out my ugly long dress for this gender reveal that I hate the dress that I'm wearing.
Is it the pink
so
one?
ugly. It's the pink one.
Yes, that you gave me.
Yeah, but it's cute with a baby bump. But if you just like take it out and look at it, it's like a giant t-shirt. Yeah.
I think I want
this is so ugly. And I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna get cute maternity clothes this year. And now that I'm here, I'm like, screw it.
You don't want to spend a bunch of money on something you're going to wear for 1 month. Like,
exactly. No. Maybe I will buy like maybe a dress or two, but
you don't even like wearing dresses. Like if you're not going to wear it post, baby, like what's the point of spending the money on it? Yeah. So anyways.
To feel cute, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Well, okay. So let's see. I have some notes because I had to remind myself like the numbers. So I started January 12th, so mid-January. And so if you're thinking about doing a cut on your own without a support of a coach, the first thing I'd recommend doing, and what I did, and what I make all my clients do, surprise, surprise, is you're going to take baseline. So I tracked everything I ate for 1 full week. And I was a little shocked because I was eating 2,700 calories. When I was pregnant, I was eating around 2,600, and postpartum with Alyssa, fresh postpartum, like when I just had her, I was eating about 2,700 calories, which is amount, usually when you breastfeed, early breastfeeding days, is you're usually burning 500 calories plus. And so for me being early postpartum, that makes sense. Like 500 extra calories, plus or minus going to producing breast milk, when on average, I think, just to maintain my normal happy body weight where I feel good is around 2,000 calories. So 2,700 calories, I was like, oh, my calories really did creep up there, didn't they? So yeah, as I was explaining earlier, I definitely was in a building phase. After I had Lena, right? I'll kind of give you a brief overview. I had the baby. I had a coach at the time when I had Lena. I was eating 2,700 calories. I stayed at that caloric range for some time because I was breastfeeding. We had a photo shoot in October. I had her in May. So some of the weight naturally fell off. And then my coach and I decided to reduce calories. I think I lost 30 pounds. And we did that photo shoot in October, and I was kind of skinny. Like I looked okay. Like I had lost weight. I did maintain my some.
Yeah.
But my goal after October of 2024 was to build. So I believe I tracked for a little bit after that photo shoot in October, and then I stopped. So I did a full year of no tracking, intuitive eating, which I know people love that word, intuitive eating, but in order to intuitively eat, you really do want to make sure you have a foundation. And I'd say tracking is a good place to start to understand what meals should look like, what balance should look like. So a full year, I was intuitively eating, lifting heavy, and I would say toward the end of that year, hence probably the end of last year, like October, November, December, is when I probably put on the extra 5 pounds. That was a little too much. I definitely like the jeans I'm wearing right now. I love these jeans. I broke the zipper. I pulled up the zipper, I think the end of the winter, like what is that, 6 months ago? And the zipper like splayed open. I was like, oh shoot. No. Okay. I was like, this is my sign. This is like, my clothes are I'm pushing it. Like I was still wearing a lot of the same clothes I am now, but things were pushing the limits of those clothes.
My gosh.
And like I said, I was having a great time. I was baking bread and baking cookies like every week with the girls and eating a lot of them. I would, during my break time, I would get my tea and handfuls of chocolate chips, like just to the dome, just eating chocolate chips like no one's business. And so I was like, oh, it makes sense. Okay. So 2,700 calories. All right. And from there, what I do with all my clients, and I did with myself, is I did a 10% deficit. So that was about 270 calories minus the 2,700. So I was eating, my starting for my cut was 2,430 calories. And I was freaking hungry, dude. It sucked. I was like, I'm so hungry. So the first couple of weeks, my weight was pretty consistent. And this is where I think a lot of people get nervous. Like, okay, I cut my calories. Why isn't the weight going down? It would go up and then it would go to my top of the weight. And then it would drop 2 pounds. And then it would come up a pound and then it would drop a pound. And it did this for a month. Like it would go up and down, up and down. And so I was trending the right way. I noticed it wouldn't go up as high and it would still kind of go up and down, but not as high as where I started. And I believe here, let me see my notes. I didn't do another adjustment until February 5th. So almost, what is that, like 2.5 weeks? And then I did another 10% cut. So 2150 was where my calories were at. And so I think a lot of people make the mistake is they cut every week or too often and they're still hungry, or what they'll do is they hit their targets Monday through Friday, and then the weekend comes and then there's like birthday parties, or their husband wants to eat out with them or go to dinner and they don't track. And so it feels like they're eating their calories Monday through Friday. It feels like that's all days, but then the weekends creep up. And so I will say, and then they see the scale, right, go up and down, and they're like, wait, what's going on? Okay, I just need to cut it more. I need to cut it more. And so I think I will say I was very, very consistent. I'd say when it comes to tracking my food, I tracked every single day. And as far as variances, what tends to throw most people off is they don't track everything. So they skip the oils, they skip the coffee creamers, they go out friends, they get grab coffee and they forget to track it. Like often, like on a recurring basis. They don't count, or they forget to count nibbles, bites, or taste. And I will say I was really, really careful with when I was cooking for the kids or meal prepping, I popped gum in my mouth. So it made it harder to put things in my mouth. And I will say at the end of my cut, I got Invisalign, which, man, if you guys have had Invisalign, you literally cannot snack. You literally have to pull out your top and bottom retainers to take a bite of anything. So, man, did that help quite a bit at the end.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was what would you call that in your BCBA language? What would you call that? What would you call something that makes it harder to do that habit?
Oh, when you increase the response effort.
Okay, sure. That's the response.
Like adding something in to
make it harder.
It harder to. Oh God, you put me on the spot.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, my BCBA people are gonna be like, this bitch.
She's a little rusty.
She's a little rusty over there.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, so it's essentially when it comes to a cut, what you're doing is the goal is to eat as much as possible and continue to lose weight. I think what people do forget though is it does take some time for the scale to come down. And if you're doing a cut, if you're cutting 10% of your calories, so 270 calories, right? And it takes 3,500 calories to lose a pound. Let me do the math here. 3,500 divided by 270. Okay. 12. What does that mean? 12 days. I was like, okay, so if it takes 3,500 calories to lose a pound, and I'm subtracting exactly 270 calories per day, it'll take 12 days, so a little under a week, to lose that 1 pound. That is if you're in a machine, if you're a robot, right? And if you're not taking any lick, spice, or taste, and you're actually hitting those calories, what's funny is that's about what I was losing a week, a week. So I brought down the calories again. So I did it February, March, April. I adjusted my calories 3 or 4 times. So I went from 2,700 calories down to 1,600 calories. So that is 15 pounds lost in 16 weeks. That's a little under, so it's 0.9 pounds per week. On average, that would be 70 calories a week adjustment on average, which it didn't end up being that way because I would go a couple weeks, look at my weight. If my weight did not drop within 2 to 3 weeks, I would make the adjustment. The other thing is, I think, making the adjustment too soon and not waiting to see that progress, or you're not following your macro split, right? You're snacking, you're eating out, and then you get impatient and you keep dropping it even though you're not staying adherent.
Yeah, so, this is what I tell my clients too. Just because you have 1,500 calories in MyFitnessPal doesn't mean that you're actually hitting it, right?
Right.
Or just because a coach assigns you 1,500 calories doesn't mean that you're actually hitting those numbers. There's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Error. I mean, human error. I mean, we're humans. There's some things that we're not aware of, or maybe we're miscalculating some macros. So I totally understand the frustration where it feels like we're eating healthy and where it feels like we're eating in a deficit. But if you're not losing weight, then you're not in a deficit. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, I was eating in a calorie deficit and still not losing weight. That is scientifically impossible. So that absolutely does not happen to anybody. It just simply means that there is an error in the way that you're calculating, or you're unaware, or perhaps maybe just not being honest with yourself about how much you're actually eating.
Yeah. That's why tracking is so helpful. Just being tracking and being aware, right? That's what tracking does. It brings awareness. So I'm going to overview some lessons, like a big kind of overview, and then I'm going to go into some of the lessons I learned. Okay. So here are the big lessons I've learned losing 15 pounds in 16 weeks. Number one was to stop watching the scale week to week and looking for the monthly downward trend. 2 was eating the same meal on repeat. It truly removes the decision fatigue. 3 was training the same days, same times, like it's your child's doctor's appointment. 4 is protecting your sleep. It's part of the fat loss plan, and I think it's underrated. 5, your environment will either support your deficit or sabotage it. Hunger is normal in a cut, but what you eat determines if it's manageable or miserable. Whole foods reduce cravings. Processed food, flexible dieting foods make you hungrier, not freer. Say no more often. So events, alcohol, extras, and plan intentionally. And if I left the house, I always brought my meals. I did not wing it. So I'm going to go into all of these in detail. The first point is scale trend over daily emotions. I think a lot of women get triggered when it comes to the scale. And so one thing I do tell my clients is go ahead and weigh yourself daily, because you'll start to see, like I tell them for check-in, go ahead, weigh daily and give me the lowest scale weight of the week, because your scale weight's going to go up and it's going to go down. And I noticed with my check-ins when I was 2 years ago with my coach, I would always weigh heaviest the day before check-in or the day of check-in. So I started recording daily, and then I would give her my Friday, because my check-in was, I think, Sunday or Monday. I'd give her my Friday scale weight, because I was always higher on the weekend. I don't know why. It depends. Well, actually, probably because I would meal prep carbier foods, like more satisfying pizzas, like protein pizzas and whatnot. And so I think getting on the scale daily can be helpful, because you can start to notice your scale's gonna be higher and lower, and you're taking a bigger picture of, like, on average, is my weight trending downwards? Because sometimes it's going to be like, 9, 8, 7, back up to 8, back up to 9, and then 6. Like it's going to keep going down.
That's what one of my current clients, she's been on a cut for quite some time, but I did tell her at one point, hey, just start weighing in daily, and just we could just see the average of the week, because she was telling me that she has had lower numbers throughout the week, but it's not showing on the check-in day. And I said, well, okay.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. So, yeah. And it's helpful for us as coaches too, because we also know that weight fluctuates, and so many things can impact your body weight when it comes to hormones and period and the types of foods that you're eating. So that one day is not an actual reflection of your entire week. So it really is a more accurate to just weigh yourself daily and
Yep.
just see what your overall average is for the week.
And then you can start seeing patterns. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
important. And not getting too caught up with when you're doing a cut by yourself, I think a lot of emotion comes into play. And that's why it's nice to have a coach, because we are very neutral. We see the data. And sometimes when you're doing it yourself, you start getting really wrapped up on like, it's not happening fast enough. What if I'm doing it wrong? And what I've heard, in fact, I've been talking to moms, people always find out I'm a coach. I was talking to one of the moms at the farm, and she was telling me, yeah, I'm tracking, and I've noticed last 2 weeks my weight's staying the same, and I've been tracking and hitting my protein and my calories. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I was like, wow, you're doing it on your own. She already lost a good amount of weight. I was like, what other data points are you taking? She's like, oh, nothing, just a scale. I'm like, oh no. So I shared with her, I was like, okay, it might be helpful to have other data points like your waistline or your photos, because you might be changing your physique. I was like, are you lifting? She's like, yeah. So I think coaches, when you have a coach, they are able to look at everything a little bit more neutrally, versus when you're doing it yourself, sometimes you get a little like caught up in, emotions and the scale and
right. And it's also, let's just be honest, it's hard to take measurements and progress pictures when you're the only one that's looking at them, right? Totally. There's something about knowing that you're turning this into another person who's going to look at them, where you're like, I need to get these things in. Yes. Where it puts it lights a fire into your butt a little bit. Yep. So that helps.
Okay. Point number 2 is eating the same meals it's a real hack. It's the hack. I mean, Chauntae, you can go on this forever, but I will say, especially when you're tracking macros and you're doing a 16-week cut, and every few weeks you're going to be adjusting calories down, it's so much so much easier to copy and paste the meal you've been eating week after week. Instead of 200 grams of rice and 200 grams of ground beef and broccoli, it's now 170 grams of rice and 190 grams of ground beef and broccoli. It's like same meal, you're just adjusting down the calories by 10 or 20 grams at a time here, versus like if you're constantly trying to do new recipes, and trust me, I do recipes too, but like entering them all, there's always going to be a variation or a variance there, and trying to figure it out, and like adjusting your meals and hoping you left enough space that night for dinner to account for however much that new recipe is going to be. It's just more room for error. And so I will say it's so important to just eat similar meals, and then you know exactly what to adjust and how much.
This is also a mom hack too.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, do you want to be spending your time finding a new recipe and spending, an hour and a half, 2 hours making the recipe when you have a million other things to do? It's so funny because sometimes I feel bad for Isaiah with like some of the stuff that I give him, but he really doesn't know any better. Yeah. I literally just give him chicken and barbecue sauce. Like that's it. And he dips it in the barbecue sauce and he'll eat it. Perfect. He doesn't care. Yeah. He does, because he doesn't really know any better. I'm like, okay, when you're like 3 or 3.5, I'll start making better meals. But for now, it's literally just like cucumber is his favorite vegetable. So cucumber with a little bit of ranch, chicken with a little bit of barbecue sauce, carrots, and like cheese. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. I don't feel, it's just funny because I'm like, I kind of eat like this. So I'm just going to give him what I eat and it doesn't bother me. But yeah, he's used to it. And it's all that he really knows. You guys, my child eats sauerkraut.
I think that's so awesome.
Isn't that hilarious? My mom, well, it's thanks to my mom. My mom's obsessed with sauerkraut. So she always feeds it to him when she's at her house. And so I finally bought it. And
do you like it?
I like more of kimchi. I'm more kimchi. We bought both kimchi and sauerkraut. I think kimchi is a little too spicy for him. So the sauerkraut is literally for him. And Kevin is like, hell no. He's like, to get that shit away from me. I don't think it's that bad, but yeah, no, so he downs funny. It like
that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Good for him. I know. I don't think I've even given my girls sauerkraut. Oh, maybe we could try some when we go to your house later. See if they'll eat it.
It might be good. Kimchi. So I mix the kimchi with the barbecue sauce and the peri-peri sauce with steak and rice. It's actually very, very good. Yeah, it's actually very good. So,
hey. Hello, gut health.
Hello, yes.
So good. Point number 3, training, non-negotiable. I mean, that's always been non-negotiable for me, but I think if you're listening to this, if you're looking for like the recipe, I think a big thing is I train the same days, the same times, every week. Like my life is essentially revolved around my training days. Like I have our schedule set up for that. So on specific days I go, one of the days Fernando's home. So I go, he's with the girls, he gets time on with them. But it just makes it something, again, I don't have to think about. I think a big hack when you're a mom is like, you don't want you don't want to make these decisions over and over again. You decide once and then you never have to think about it again. It's like, oh, it's Monday. I wake up and I put my gym clothes on. Like I know exactly where I'm going. Same with the food. It's like I wake up and I'm going to eat. I already know what's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like I don't have to think about it. So yeah, non-negotiable training, which I will say majority of the time I was bulking up until halfway through my cut. I did the exact same lifting plan.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Wild, you guys. And I will say, I feel like I have the most muscle in my body I've ever had. I feel like it. I mean, I didn't do...
No, your arms look amazing. They're jacked.
My arms, I feel like my shoulders have been bigger at one point, but my back, I feel, is the jacked it's ever been.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So
what were you doing? Like,
prior?
what are your main lifts that you stuck to for a full year?
For a full year, did not get bored.
Write
So I
this
just
down,
did
ladies.
variation. It was just a hinge, so deadlift, some variation of a deadlift, standard RDL, single leg RDL, a deficit RDL, like any variation you can think of a deadlift. It was always a deadlift, hip thrust. Now I'm trying to remember. I hate squatting, so I'd always do split squats or lunges, reverse lunge. So any variations of that.
That's so funny because squatting is a lot easier for me than lunging.
See, I hate squats. I hate squats. Any lunge version, split squat, Bulgarian split. Oh, I made Bulgarian split squats my bitch. I've done every version of a Bulgarian split squat you can think of. Plyo versions, like squat, like a barbell versions, like what's the safety bar squats, suitcase version. Yeah, like any variation of Bulgarian, I did that. So that was legs. That's essentially all I did for legs.
Nice.
For upper body, pull-ups. Made pull-ups my bitch too. So many pull-ups. Every variation of a pull-up, push-up, barbell shoulder press, and a horizontal pull of some sort, whether it be on a machine, pin lay row, dumbbell row. And I kept it super simple. It was literally 3 or 4 exercises for both lower and upper. So boring, so basic, but it hit all the movement patterns. I didn't have to think. I would just show up. Lately, though, now that I'm feeling like more athletic, I've been doing plyos. I've been doing fun stuff. So
yeah, Alyssa and I were talking about it. It's like you have to think of your training style in like seasons and phases of like where you're at. If you're interested in truly building strength and a solid physique, you're going to have to do a lot what Alyssa was doing before, like simple movements over and over again,
progressively getting harder.
Yeah, progressively getting harder for a long period of time. And yes, it is boring. It just is.
It's boring.
But now then you could do all the fun and athletic stuff that looks cool on Instagram, which is what we actually want to do.
You look cooler doing it when you actually have muscle.
But. Yeah, exactly. That's the fun part. Yes. I'm like, oh my gosh. I sent you a DM like, oh my gosh, these movements look so fun. And I know that's not how she normally trains, but it's like, okay, well, I look good now. I look athletic. Let me like train athletic now.
Yes. Yeah. And also I'm like, okay, I don't also want to consider like my knee. Like I do need, like I want to, I don't want to just look fit.
Right.
Like I actually want to keep up with my kids. So I started sprinting. I'm doing, a lot more plyos, jumping. It's been fun.
Yeah. So important. So important. Especially, I'm looking forward to that phase again. Rebuilding that next year. But I'm actually probably not going to get a coach this time because
you're good.
Yeah. I don't need one.
I don't need one. You never really needed one, but
I know. But you know me, I'm like, somebody hold me accountable. Well, actually, that first year, I really did need one after that first year because I didn't know what to expect. It was my first postpartum experience, even though I'm a coach and I've walked postpartum women through their transformation. It really is different when you go through it yourself. So it was my first postpartum transformation. Hormones are just all over the place. I knew that it was going to take longer than I wanted, and it was very true. Took about 11 months to get the physique that I wanted. So yeah, I feel like I did need it, but now that I went through that and I kind of like know what to expect, it all really just comes down to consistency. And yes, especially with this next baby coming, I want to be the best that I can, energetic wise, plus with a toddler, a boy who, let's just be honest, boys are like puppies or dogs. Like if you don't take them out, they're just going to keep bugging you all day until they get outside and let out their energy. So, yeah, it's like, I feel like this was like, I was meant to have a boy because I'm such a homebody. I never want to leave the house. Even walking the dogs has been hard. Like I don't want to walk you. Can you just stop it? Leave me alone.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I could stay. If I could stay home all day, every day, I would. But it's just not in the cards for me at this stage of life anymore.
You have me in your life.
I know. Alyssa really does drag me out.
Yeah. It's so funny.
I'm like, okay, fine. What's next?
Oh, point 4, sleep. Wildly underrated. I still don't think people get why sleep's so important. Like I think we think we can white knuckle it, or
we just get used to it.
I guess. You guys, sleep is so underrated. It is underrated, and this should probably be number 1, especially for moms, because I was just talking to a client yesterday, and she really does have a hard schedule. She co-sleeps. She says if she moves an inch, her daughter wakes up. And I'm her 4th coach. She's had many coaches before. And all of them, I don't think, had kids. And so she feels like I get her. We had an hour call. And she works later in the evening. And so she gets home at 7. Like she rushes from work, gets her daughter at 7 o'clock. And then it's bedtime routine for her daughter. She still needs to eat. She still needs to shower. She has to fit up. She's a BCBA. She has to finish up her notes. She's a BCBA. So it has to be in that night. And then she was like, I really want me time. And so I was like, I totally get that. And so she's like, sometimes I go to bed at midnight because I have to finish my notes. And then I just want to read a book and scroll and like relax before I have to go to bed. And I'm like, we had a really good conversation. I'm like, okay, good. How can we, like, what are some things we can do? Like, what can we move up? Is there anything we can do as early as possible? Like, can we do the notes first thing? Like, I feel like eating is important.
Or what about doing notes during session?
I think she said sometimes she has back-to-back 4, and then she has to, right after she's done, she has to go get her daughter.
Okay.
And so and then it's like home, and then like get the baby to bed, and so.
Okay.
I know.
I'm just wondering, because I know like RBTs always take the last 15 to 20 minutes in their session to write their notes before the session ends. So, I mean, I don't know if things have changed in the field.
I don't know.
But I'm also trying to remember what I did when I was in the field, and I'm pretty sure, unless I'm remembering incorrectly, that I would take the last 15 to 20 minutes of the session that I was supervising to sit there and write the notes, so I wouldn't have to do that. It wouldn't happen all the time. Sometimes I would need to write the session notes later when I got home, but it's always helpful to do it while you're at the session, so you're not piled up with all these notes and like forget, and then you're behind. And so I don't know if that's a
bring
possibility.
It up to her.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, and I was also talking about like, how can we make the note writing faster? Can you use AI? Can you talk to ChatGPT and have him like write the notes for you, so you're not sitting there typing? So coming up with ideas, this is what we do with our clients. Like coming up with, it's not just like nutrition and it's like coming up with ideas to make things go quicker. More efficiently. And then like, what are the priorities? Okay, you need to eat. That should be like main priority. And then like, okay, when do you shower? She was actually showering right before bed. So she would get like in bed, read, and then get up and go shower and like brush her teeth. I'm like, no. You need to do that first. Like reading should be the last, and then anyways, we were playing. I was asking her questions and figuring out, but I get it as mom. The whole point of this was like, I get it as moms. It's like you want your you time. And for her, waking up early is just not going to happen right now because of co-sleeping and her schedule. And so sometimes finding micro moments, we talked about micro moments for the day where she can get some you time. I think that's so underrated. Whether it's like going outside, having a few like breaths of air, enjoying your coffee on the patio by yourself if possible, or it's like between clients, can you take like literally 90 seconds, walk, stretch, take a deep breath before jumping back into notes. These little micro moments of me time, like 10 minutes, you guys, RBTs, ABA therapists, eat your lunch, please. Please eat your lunch. It's just 10, 15 minutes, step away from your computer, actually eat a meal, go back to work.
You guys, I would eat and drive at the same time. I did not give a shit.
Yes.
I would eat while I was stuck in traffic, while I was driving to my next client. And a lot of times the food was cold. That's probably what trained me to not care about food. Was
you got to get it down.
Yeah, you had to get it down. I don't think there was like well, maybe there was, and I just didn't think to look at it. But heaters that you could heat your food. Yeah, while you're driving. I actually ended up getting one for Kevin a few years later. But yeah, I remember I would pack my entire day's worth of food in my car, and I would just eat that while I was out and about driving to my next client in between. So I truly do think that there is no excuse as long as you have your food with you. And if you're driving, you can definitely eat at the same time.
Yeah. I think one thing we were talking about is like oftentimes you guys are back to back with clients. ABAs are a lot of clients back to back. And I think sometimes we think that if we just push through and get through all these clients and do my notes and skip meals, I think we forget sometimes the slow way is the fast way. Even if you take 15 minutes to eat your food, remember food is fuel for your brain, for you to function. Taking that 90 seconds to get up and stretch and walk around. Skipping scrolling on your phone at night so you get a little bit more sleep will make a difference in the long run. And I think sometimes, I think also viewing sleep as self-care. Because I did challenge, I was like, hey, look, when you're rested and you feel good, does it feel like you have more patience, more capacity, more tolerance, where you're not begging for that alone time? Yes, we all want alone time and to feel that. But I would bet getting to bed an hour earlier or even just 30 minutes earlier will allow you to be more capable to handle your child the next day instead of scrolling. And so seeing it that way, because then also when you don't sleep as much, you feel hungrier, you have higher cravings, less self-control, you're snappier, right? You're more moody. And so sleep, wildly underrated. The next one is hunger is part of the process. I think a lot of people don't like talking about being hungry, but I was pretty freaking hungry there were some weeks that were better than others, but definitely when I would cut calories, it sucked, right?
Yeah.
And I think having an environment set up to support that. So if I'm hungry, I'm not going to keep chocolate chips at my work desk. In fact, I stopped buying them. You remember at the beginning, I was telling you guys I was chocolate chips to the dome every day, like by the handfuls. I actually cut it out 100% from my diet as soon as I hit the cut. And I have them back in my cupboard, but I'm not, now that I've given myself 4 months off of the chocolate chips, I'm not craving them as much. So I think a lot of cravings are because you've trained yourself, like, oh, it's 1 o'clock, right? We're recording right now. It's time for my chocolate chips. I've conditioned myself not to expect those any longer. And then also, I'm not going to keep foods like that when I'm in a cut in my environment. So I made sure to chew gum when I was hungry. I sipped on fizzy water when I was hungry. I kept shit out of my house. I do this anyways, but I mean, like all the processed stuff I would keep high up, out of sight. I didn't buy my chocolate chips. Those are my trigger food. And just knowing that, hey, every calorie I'm going to make count. So eating foods that are going to keep me fuller longer. Potatoes, most satiating carbohydrate source. Rice, I would eat a lot of. I loaded up on more vegetables, and I made sure my protein goal was met every day because that also keeps you full. I made sure I always had meal. Oh, wait, sorry. That was another point. I'll talk about that later. And just knowing that, hey, it's normal to feel hungry and you got to suck it up. It's uncomfortable. Being in a calorie deficit is uncomfortable. And you got to suck it up. It sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Like I was hungry. And I know when you do your cut, you're not hungry.
I know. That's a superpower, I guess I have is.
My superpower is I can eat a lot of food.
Yes.
Right. My calories, I get more calories to play with. But when I cut, I'm miserable. I'm hungry. And for you, your superpowers, you're not hungry. But you don't have a lot of calories.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of calories. Exactly.
It's metabolism differences, right?
Very different. And also, I think a lot of people get worried about their calories being too low. And that's definitely a thing sometimes. But an example that I have is one of my current clients. Her calories got pretty low. She was getting ready for her honeymoon, and I think we had to bring her carbs down to about 50 grams of carbs too. But the crazy thing is she wasn't really feeling hungry or anything before that. And so, and her biofeedback was good too. So these are some other things that you need to evaluate when it comes to, okay, well, how much or how far should I go? It all don't focus so much on the numbers and really pay attention to how you're feeling as a result of those numbers, right? So I kept cutting and cutting and cutting until, well, for anybody, really, I'll keep cutting and cutting until your biofeedback tells me otherwise, until you can't recover well, until you have shitty sleep, until you're starving where you can't think anymore. I mean, I won't get it that far, but I mean, I don't want to push it that far. You're not competing or anything. We're not competitive like bodybuilder coaches. My point is, it's like there's going to be signs that your body is telling you or us that you're cutting your calories too low. Now, for my client, she was golden. She slept really well. She was recovering really well. She's extremely active by choice. Like I have to tell her to do less, but she doesn't want to because she loves exercise so much. And then I kept cutting, and she was still not hungry. And so I'm like, okay, I need you to feel a little hungry. So I'm going to cut a little bit more, because hunger is a sign that you are also losing body fat as well. She's like, okay. So I made a pretty significant cut. And then, in midweek, she messaged me. She's like, okay, I'm hungry now. I'm like, okay, this is good.
Finally.
Now, let's stay here for a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. The hunger, it is normal. There's just ways to manage it and mitigate it. Like, obviously you want to be eating properly. So I think that's all I had to say about hunger. Point 6 was environment matters more than willpower. Oh, I guess I kind of touched on that already. Yeah, I think this is also underestimated. An environment is just not your home. It's like who you hang out with, what you do, what situations you put yourself with. I have several clients that travel a lot, and it's difficult. I have one that lives in Germany, and I have one is in Miami and travels all the time. And she's also newly dating someone, which is also really challenging. And so, if you're out with your boyfriend, your new boyfriend, and he wants to take you out places, if you're constantly around dinner places that have delicious food on the menu, it's going to make it really hard. If you are traveling, like I have a client, she goes to like Italy. She's like traveling all over Europe. She lives in Germany right now. Yeah, it's going to be really hard to turn down. You're in Italy, pastries or what is Italy? The pastas and the wine. And so, it's like having that conversation. It's like, okay. And then I tell them, it's okay. If you want to be in maintenance, we can be in maintenance. It's okay if you want to pause the fat loss journey. And usually the answer is no. And there's like, okay, then there's cost benefits here. Like you cannot have pasta
have it both
and
ways.
croissants and the wine. Like you're going to have to choose. And then it becomes a strategy thing. So environment, is who you're with too. Like it's like having hard conversations with my clients. I'm like, hey, you're going to have a hard conversation with your closest friends and family. They're foodies. So it's like, okay, either when you hang out with them, it's like, let's do a yoga class. Let's go play. She got into tennis, which is really cool.
Nice.
Or let's go on a walk or a hike versus like going out to dinners or restaurants or donuts or whatever. And so having those conversations with the people in your life is going to be really important. And then also, setting up your home. Like if you are a snacker, don't be buying snacks. Again, one of my clients, she is a snacker, but what she does is make snack plates, like with her Cheetos and her cucumbers and her cheese and whatever. But again, like Cheetos aren't very satiating. So I'm like, hey, okay. And I always tell them, I bring awareness. I love that you're incorporating Cheetos. Keep in mind, if you're hungry, that's going to be the first thing that goes. Like, you got to remember that's not going to be as filling. So just keep that in mind. So environment. 7, events, alcohol, flexibility, need a strategy, not guesswork. So yeah, when it comes to helping my clients or even myself, right? Like if I know I'm going to my mom's house for a half day, I'm going to bring my food with me. You cannot rely on just winging it. So a lot of times with clients, it's like, okay, you have an event, you have a birthday party, right? They're going to have pizza. It's a kid's birthday. They're going to have pizza and cake. What is your plan? Let's talk about it. Are you going to bring your food? Are you going to eat before? Are you going to pre-track that pizza? And then enjoy it with your family. So I think it's about strategy and making sure that you do have a plan. We're never winging things. And alcohol is usually, like I tell clients, it's very hard to lose weight while drinking alcohol. Just don't do it. Or if you do it very rarely. I did 0 alcohol for my entire cut. And then when we went to Cabo, I had fun. It was great.
Yeah.
But now we're back to very rarely drinking because it's just, again, it's really hard to incorporate alcohol and stay lean.
Yeah. Oh, I also want to mention the client who was getting ready for a honeymoon. So 0 alcohol, really strict on her, plan, executed everything to the T. We got her to where she needed to be, and she enjoyed herself on her vacation. Ate what she wanted. She drank some, alcoholic beverages. She did, in her mind, thought that she was going to work out, and then when she was there, I'm like, I have a feeling that you're not going to train, but I'm going to throw this out there. Like, if you want me to make you a workout plan, she's like, oh yeah, no. I wake up before my husband. I'm definitely going to train at least 3 times per week. I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm like, I wouldn't, but okay, if you are. So I made her something, and then she came back. She's like, yeah, it didn't go as planned. I'm like, I figured.
Where'd she go?
It's okay.
Where'd she travel?
Aruba, I believe.
Yeah.
So just a very romantic, very romantic honeymoon. Like she just enjoyed herself, but she did gain about 10 pounds as she came back. And I'm like, hey, don't that's just water it. You enjoyed yourself. You're eating a whole, different stuff, obviously above what you ended your cut at. Lots of different foods. You weren't moving as much because you're on the beach relaxing and enjoying yourself. Digestion. Plus the travel
inflammation.
And exactly. And so she actually lost all of that, or almost all of it, within a week. Yeah. And I told her that it usually takes about a week, maybe a week and a half to get rid of all that stuff. So just keep that in mind. Yeah.
I think my last point was just don't wing it, but I feel like I already said that, right? Point number 8, you can't wing a cut. I think a lot of people think that I'll just eat less carbs, or I'll just, cut this out, and then I'll figure it out as I go. But I think one of the things we do plan just in general is planning your weeks, planning your workouts, planning your meals. When you go to an event, make sure you plan ahead. What are you going to eat at the event? Making the decision ahead of time. And so, that was my 8 tips. But, after the cut, no photo shoot this time. Not quite ready. I was debating whether or not what I wanted to do. After the cut, I was like, oh, I feel really good, lean. Maybe I keep going. But what I did, so my cut ended at 1,600 calories. We went to Cabo, did not track, enjoyed myself. I made a post on it if you guys want to see how I ate during the trip. Maybe that's another topic for another day. When I got back, I did start tracking again. And so I went up about 10% in calories. So I'm roughly around 1,800. Some days I go closer to 2,000, and some days I actually don't go under 18. That's usually 18. I was giving myself a window, 200 calories up or down. A lot of times with clients, we give them, okay, your macros are 1,800 calories and 120 grams of protein. I give them a window with calories, 150 plus or minus up or down. And so that's what I'm currently doing. I'm giving myself a little window. And guess what? My weight has maintained 2 pounds up from where my cut ended. So
nice.
I'm
roughly,
I'm roughly what I'm satisfied. I feel like my weight is good. I'm probably going to hang here. Now, what does maintenance look like? Okay, well, maintenance looks like what it is you're maintaining your weight, essentially. I'm going to see if I can continue to do a body recomp. Even though I'm 2 years postpartum, it is possible. It's just harder, and it will take a little bit longer for someone as seasoned as I am with lifting. But the goal is for me is to keep my weight exactly where it's at, and gain muscle and continue to see some body fat drop. It might not be significant, but that is the plan. So I do actually plan on tracking for a bit longer. Usually after a cut, I'm like, I'm going to just like go back to intuitive eating. But
yeah,
I think now that I'm actually seeing, I feel like I have a good amount of muscle on myself. I'm going to continue to track and see where this year takes me. So that's
like
where
a fun
I'm at.
Experiment.
Yes. Let's do some recomp.
Gosh.
So hopefully that was helpful. I feel like, do I miss anything?
Yes. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think we covered everything very thoroughly.
Yeah, I think so. So if you're listening, if you are going to
It's a long process.
It is a long process. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think. People that maybe go on social media and see, physique transformations and body recomp and coaches and these things, they assume that they've always looked that way, or, it might not take as long as they think. And especially if you've had kids, it always takes longer than you think.
Yeah. Being a mom, it takes 10 times longer, like 10 times longer. Yes. And the transformations, like it's like before and after, and they sometimes won't tell you how long that process actually took. And you guys, it's going to take months and years, not weeks. Yeah,
for sure. Especially when you have kids, because you have to also remember that you're expending energy in different ways that you weren't before, especially if you have multiple kids, right? So if you have like 2 or 3 kids, you're running around with your toddlers, and maybe in some ways too, like you're not moving outside of spending time with your toddlers because you're tired, right? That was actually something that I noticed pretty quickly, was that if I wasn't extremely mindful about getting my walks in, my treadmill at home when I had some extra free time, the walks that I went with Isaiah, or just even like playing with him at the park, it just wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Because I'm tired, I'm sitting, I'm working, or I'm reading, or I'm just like chilling on the couch. So I have to be really mindful and intentional to, use my walking pad or use my treadmill in the garage, because your body's going to naturally want you to slow down because you're just tired from dealing with a toddler all day.
Yeah. Mentally drained.
So, yes. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed that episode, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.